All right, you guys, this is going to be a quick video just going over how to finish up your year one scorecard. We didn't get to this in Class Connect on Monday, September 16th. So I am making this video so that you guys have the ability to finish the video, or I'm sorry, to finish the scorecard on your own time. So I've already inputted some examples in here. We made an example sheet so that we could show you how to fill out this last section where it says year one end game penalties. So these are typically just penalties for downstream nitrogen pollution. And as you can see, nitrogen pollution, and that was on the menu for where you selected certain crops, are only affected by nitrogen pollution. So we only need to be concerned with corn, tomatoes, and pasture dairy cows. Okay, so that's these three white boxes right here. I'm going to teach you how we're going to fill these in. As you can see, all of these other numbers have been filled in for the other crops at this point. Okay, so we had our pest disease control or costs up here. So all we need to do down here in these boxes is take the column subtotal from up above, and we need to multiply it times the percent penalty. But notice the percent penalties are different depending on whether you have a riparian buffer or whether you do not have a riparian buffer. In this case, we did not have a riparian buffer. So I'm going to be following that example, but I'll also be explaining verbally how to complete it with the riparian. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take my 780, which is my subtotal, and again, because I don't have a riparian buffer, I'm going to be using this 20%. So I'm going to pull up my calculator so you can see how I calculate this. All I need to do is take 780 times, and then again, because without a riparian buffer is 20%, I'm going to put in 0.20. You actually don't need the zero, but if it makes you understand that that's 20%, then I just want to be helpful. That gives us 156. Okay, so I'm going to put 156 in that column, and it's going to deduct my profits a little bit. You saw that number change. That's what's supposed to happen. Moving on to tomatoes, I didn't have any, so I'm going to leave it at 0. See, tomatoes up here, I had 0. And then for pasture dairy cows, I had 1, so I'm going to have to do a deduction here as well. So pulling the calculator back up, I did not have a riparian buffer, so I'm going to take my subtotal, which is 2,000, and I'm going to multiply it by 50%. Yikes. So times 0.50, that gives me 1,000. So you guys should be figuring out now, once I put 1,000 in this box, my profit here is going to drop to also 1,000. It's going to be subtracted from that amount. So there are my new values. And so you can see that at the end of my year one, I've made a total of $2,874, but because we put 2,000 into this specific farm, we made $874. That's it. Okay. All right. And just for the purposes of if you did have a riparian buffer, notice that because I didn't, I ignored this entire row. I basically pretended it didn't exist. If you do have a riparian buffer, then you're going to ignore the top column and you're going to do the same thing. So if I had cows and I had a riparian buffer, I would have done 2,000 times 0.30. And again, this only applies to the crops that you have. So you notice I kept a 0 here for tomatoes because I didn't plant any tomatoes. So I can't take a deduction for a crop that I don't own. Once those numbers go in, you guys, everything is auto-populated for you to tell you whether you made a profit or not. If this number is negative, that means that you did not make a profit. Yikes! That means you lost money on your farm. And we'll be going over how we can interpret what happened with that in Class Connect on Wednesday, September 18th. So we'll see you there.